How's it going, fellas? Okay, calm down. Calm down. How's it going, chat? Sorry, Luna just woke up. Aww. Little pup just woke up, so I just had to grab her. How's it going, Drew? Ray? Brandon? Bullets? Oh, you're yawning. Are you looking for a oh, you want to go back to sleep? Okay, well, you can go back to sleep on my... So. How's it going, fellas? Oh, why is there no audio on this? Or am I not just hearing it? Oh, there is. Okay. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just been spending all day playing with the little doggo instead of playing video games. She's been a right menace today. Literally trying to tear me to pieces, haven't you? Haven't you? Haven't you? It's okay. Thanks, Bold. Yeah, she's a sweetie. Ugh. Can you guys see her there? She's just resting. Wondering what she's done in life to deserve this sort of cruelness. It's okay, it's okay. So how we doing, folks? It's been an interesting few days, right? Fake gamer alert. Wait. Where's the fake gamer? Are you saying not playing with the doggo is more important than playing video games? Playing with the doggo is awesome until she actually goes mental. She is really hyperactive. I guess that's normal for pups. Like, this is my first puppy, so I don't really know what to expect, what's normal, other than the fact that she's been trying to pluck the last few hairs I've got left in my head. That is not cool. I don't know what the chat has been putting you up to, but, you know, Papa would like to stay with some hair on his head. But yeah, she is literally like a bundle of joy. She bites a lot, and I do mean a lot, but sometimes it's like you can see that she's just nibbling, but man, has her teeth gotten razor sharp. Her teeth has gotten super razor sharp, but we love her a lot, and she knows she's loved. Exactly. Anyway, doggo, mummy's here. Do you want to go to mummy? Yeah? Daddy's got a podcast to do. And as much as I'd like you on my shoulder as a parrot, the moment I put you there, you're going to nibble at my ears and my forehead. Okay, turn around, say bye to chat. Bye, chat. Bye. Here you go. It's not necessarily a publishing contract. You know as well as we do. Hey, I try to do a cameo with every stream now. You guys are quite lucky. She literally just woke up a few minutes before I was supposed to start.
Hello, Chaos Dog.
Hey, Banisher, thank you for the 5. Hello, Chaos. That sounds like you're calling me a dog, but I know it's going to Luna. But yeah, man, I decided to lay down on the sofa today, and my daughter decided that she was going to we've got like an L-shaped sofa, and so my daughter put the pup on the other side of the sofa, so she made a beeline straight for my face. Man, it was not good. I was sleeping too. It was messy. It was messy. Sorry about that. I left the... Let me just drag this to the other side because that's not supposed to be there. It screws up the whole picture thing. That's cool. Alright. How's everyone been? Hey Darren, how's it going, buddy? Gorsty, welcome, mate. Rabby, welcome. We're trying to teach her new tricks, like to give her paw and stuff, but it's not going well. The only one that she knows that she can do right now is to sit. We've got that one down. But we're really struggling with the whole, some of the tricks. But, I think we'll get there. That's fake news, Rabbi. It's just Microsoft's Braze CRM kind of... The AI agent triggered a bunch of stuff and it didn't go so well. But it's not really a problem. Although I was surprised to see Microsoft using Braze and not Salesforce. Braze are really becoming a force in the CRM industry. Show Duggo the Konami code? Get ready for more studio closures and developers losing their jobs if they start putting the games on PC. I mean, that's the concern, right? So as of right now, there's news of Sony potentially... I mean, there's like 4 or 5 big names now saying that this is going to happen. So I don't think it's the run-of-the-mill news, or at least discussions are being had. But before we get into that topic, there is something else I wanted to show you guys. Because I just saw it today. Well, a friend of mine bought it, and it should arrive for him tomorrow. And I didn't really know what to really say about this. So this is a mouse. You got your left, this is your traditional mouse, right? It's got recoil. It's got a recoil slider. You got your left mouse click, right mouse button, forward, back for your mouse. You got the fire button there as well. You got your scroll wheel. Now, it kind of looks insane. It's a shame you can't kind of like hold it in midair and the laser would kind of hit the ground so it knows what you're doing, kind of knowing where the height is so you can actually use it as a gun. But I don't know, this kind of looks insane, right? What do you guys think of this as a mouse? It's the Ergo Strike 7 Next Gen FPS gaming mouse with recoil, FPS gun grip mouse, ergonomic vertical design, wireless, wired, USB for PC gamers. Well, it's seen now. I'll leave it like that. What do you guys think, though, of this? I mean, it's a big postcode. Banisher, this is in the UK. This is Amazon UK. It's £88. You know, Banisher, I wouldn't put it past you. I don't know, I just thought I'd show this because I thought it was really cool. My friend picked it up, so gonna wait for his feedback on it. I'm kind of interested because it's just so weird and different. I wonder how this would actually feel playing FPS games. I mean, it's designed for first-person shooters. It's gonna be weird, right? Hey, man. Hey, look, I'm not bold. Let's get that clear, Brandon. I ain't bold. I know Luna tried to pluck the last few I've got there, but I still have them there. She failed. I don't know what you guys were telling her, but it was mission failed, and she won't get them next time. But yeah, I thought this was a really unique thing that I've seen. I don't normally see like randomly weird, unique stuff, but I thought it was kind of cool. It's even got a recoil on it. That's kind of nice. I'm almost tempted to pick it up just so I can review it and let you guys know what it's like. Why is that, Brandon? What's that, Navy? Wait, you shut off your internet? Why would you do something like that? What will they play on their new Kojima-themed tablets? I have no idea. But they had another driver? I'm not updating for a while. The latest one I got about 3 days ago seems to work with Adobe. I'm good for a while. I'm happy. So in regards to the whole AI spam thing, that was clearly just Braze flipping out. So I've only had little exposure to Braze, and it's basically a CRM system that basically delivers content to or push notifications to devices. It can be used for emails as well, but one of the main selling features is the fact that you can have it do a lot of push notification related stuff. Now, when I was in my previous job before I got let go, we were doing a pitch to use it for a company, which I'm not gonna name, but it was designed to kind of give you push notifications to kind of entice you to go and spend or go back, return as a customer, that sort of thing. But it was all handled through AI. So I'm guessing that someone who wasn't very knowledgeable with Braze, because it is still a fairly new headless system, decided that they were going to do something and triggered something, and it went mental. So I don't think you'll see something like that again, but it's nothing to worry about. Look, I'm not going bald. I still have hair there. See? See? Lots of hair. There, we've established that. To take a break, been doing periodic breaks from the internet once a month. Isn't it in the Jewish culture where 1 day a week, generally on a Friday, you stay away from all technology completely? No TV, no electrics, no lights, nothing. You should practice that, Susanna. Save it all for 1 day, and then go out and touch grass. Well, so the big news. Well, we've got two bits of news. We've got the ex-Microsoft Games leader defending Asher, and of course we've got this one over here. Sony could reportedly stop releasing their single-player titles on PC per report from Jason Schreier. And Jason Schreier says Marvel's Wolverine is only on PS5 and may never release on PC. Now, color me spectacle. But I think this has everything to do with Xbox Magnus and nothing to do with Steam. I mean, I don't like Jason Schreier at all. Like you guys know, all the way back from the Anthem days, I'm not a fan of his. I called him out and I exposed him and he didn't like it, so he immediately blocked me. But I don't like him at all. And, you know, nothing would make me more happy than this news being wrong and me going over to Blue Sky just to laugh at him and, you know, mock him and make myself feel better. There are some things I'm willing to go petty for. That is one of them. That's just how much I do not like this guy. I think this guy is an absolute scumbag. I don't like him at all. Chaos Lounge says PlayStation now going anti-Xbox and pulling their games off Steam, so Xbox got... I think that's the reason, Mandalorian. Personally, I think that's the reason. I think Sony would rather just not put games on PC if it then, you know, have Xbox play them as a proxy because they have the ability to run Steam games. Hey, I don't use Blue Sky. I said I'm going to go there just to mock him. I think so. I mean, obviously, this is just my opinion, and I could be completely wrong here. Obviously, we'll never know the true reason. But to just suddenly, out of the blue, come out with this, it does, you know, it seems a little odd. Of course, this does now raise questions, right? What's going to happen with Nixxes? Sony has obviously started kind of in the background over the past 6 months. Where are you? Luna? Luna? There you are. You're trying to... Come here. Come here. Come here, Luna. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Okay, just stay with me. Okay. That's fine. Get one of the kids to clean it. Are you okay now? Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, that's enough, Lixie. That's enough. I'm trying to talk to chat. Okay. You want to climb up there? I don't know why you want to climb up there, but I don't want... Look, you're shaking. You're scared. Anyway, I've got you. Don't worry. Anyway, in this weird position that I'm in, Nixxes has been doing kind of a lot of support work. They've started doing work with Saros and stuff like that. They've also supported Death Stranding 2. So it's not like they're not keeping busy. So who knows if they're next on the chopping block to, you know, shut down. But after Bluepoint, I would be worried, if there is any truth to this, that Nixxes could be next. Lord, you might want to... I know, but she's literally just trying to... she's literally digging her claws into my neck. I'm gonna die. At least she's not biting on my hair again. Go on. Oh. Anyway. Kenna isn't a PlayStation game. It could be published, but it's not a PlayStation game. They've just got third-party exclusivity. I mean, Sony doesn't have very much in terms of first-party games anyway. But I get that, Susano. The missus, we do. You recommend against holding the doggo in your lap? We don't normally do that. She's normally just climbing on top of us for some reason. She likes to use us as one of those monkey bars in the parks, like an obstacle course. Trust me, I've got the scratches to prove it. Chaos Lounge, does that mean PlayStation are getting rid of modding off their platform? Probably not. I think modding is here to stay. I don't see them getting rid of modding. But right now, if Sony does decide to pull the games, and it's not just Jason Schreier saying this, Sneaker SO has said this, John Lennon, the Digital Foundry guy, said this as well. There was another guy that said it as well. Nate the Hate has said it as well. So there's like 4 or 5 people that are now corroborating the exact same story from the sources they've had, and all their sources are saying the same thing. So unless their source is exactly the same person, there could be some truth to this. Now, obviously, they're not saying that it is happening. What they're saying is that it could be happening. I'm guessing there are discussions internally right now. They're asking, whether porting these games to PC is having a return of interest, or potentially Xbox Magnus. Whether, their games by de facto going to Xbox is going to be thing. If they want that to happen. Jez Corden said what? Yeah, Kenna isn't a PlayStation game. It's made by Ember Labs. I know, because even the first one, it wasn't Sony that gave me the code, it was Ember Labs. Hey look, Gorsty, you got HP, you got Heinz, you got Daddy, I think that's what it's called. You got the Aldi brands, you got the Lidl brands, you got the Tesco brands, There's a lot of sources out there. You got Mustard as well, and they have their own brands too. So you got to kind of go with whatever you fancy, What did Jez say? Because I'm not seeing it. No one is saying what Jez actually said. Sony is publishing it, but that doesn't mean that it's a Sony first-party game. Destiny wasn't a Sony first-party game, but Coleman's is is the only good mustard. It's a good source, though, right? If the next Xbox console doesn't sell well, is Xbox going to leave the gaming market as a whole? Nah. I think Microsoft's vision is to just have the option there, and that's it. I don't even see the next Xbox being like mainstream. But all of that could change now with Asher in charge, right? So right now, everything that's Xbox related is just up in the air. We don't really know. Her interview kind of said a bunch of stuff with Jez and left a bunch of stuff open because she's only been in the office for 48 hours. So it won't be until a couple months until we see anything from her. Maybe even up to 6 months before we see. But I don't think any action that she takes right now will take effect during the cycle of the current generation Series X. Whatever happens, I think is going to be on the next generation console. As soon as Xbox says nothing is off the table, Sony going, we're not porting to PC. Hey, great on that. There is that as well, right? To be fair, though, this is like this. One thing Sony has repeatedly done is protected the PlayStation image. They don't want anything devaluing it or, damaging that brand image for PlayStation. Porting games over to PC has done that. No matter which way you want to look at it, it's devalued the console. And for Sony, the console is the most important thing. They don't even care if they sell 5 copies. As long as they can sell 200 million consoles, that's all they care about, because then they can control the narrative. That's it. And maybe internally they've seen that by porting games to PC, people have decided that they're going to hold off, waiting until those games come to PC. And day one, they're losing sales on console. So they might be trying now to get a push onto consoles again. I don't know. It's all kind of up in the air. Multiplayer games will still go. But look, multiplayer games make sense, right? Whether it's for Nintendo, whether it's for Sony, whether it's for Xbox. A multiplayer game lives and dies by the people playing it. You want as many people playing it as humanly possible. Because that way you've got people coming into the game, playing the game, right? A healthy player base means it's a healthy game. If you don't have a healthy player base, it's going to have problems at some point. And then when they do have problems, then they kind of open it up to the rest of the ecosystem. But by that point, it's a little too late. Look at Foam Stars, for example. If that went complete multi-platform, maybe it might have had a chance. I'm not saying it would have had a chance. I'm saying maybe it would have had a better chance. But in its current state that it was released in with PlayStation, you hurt the games. So for me personally, if a game is multi-plat, like a multiplayer game, I think you should just go day and date to everything. In this day and age, it's criminal not to. If Sony shuts down Nixes, then I'd say that's a sign that this is going to happen. Well, Mark, what they've been doing with Nixis is slowly turning them into a support studio internally for PlayStation as well. The most recent game that they've worked on, which is coming out this year, is Saros on PlayStation. No, there's been no, to my knowledge, PC work done on that. It was literally just getting the PlayStation version ready. So, I don't know. But Sony does value their thing. And I do think a lot of this is to do with Xbox Magnus. Not saying changes won't take place, just that they're not taking place this year in any sort of... Oh, I mean, these decisions aren't stuff that happen overnight. They're probably going to be talking about it for the next few months, I'd expect. But if they're leaking out now, they're probably going to have to get out and ahead of it and say something at some point. I mean, Sony believes they would. Hey, what's up? Man, even your bark is tiny. They are really pushing PS4 players to get a PS5, but as of right now, I think there's no real need. There's not enough there, in my opinion, on the PS5 for people to upgrade. Considering how much they cost and economic difficulties. Kind of baffled, base PS5 even sold after that PS4 jet. Man, the PS4 was loud. It was loud. Tried some Marathon, it's okay. I just downloaded Marathon before the stream started. I thought it was going live tomorrow, but apparently it's going live. It went live earlier today. Foam Stars was alright. I didn't mind it. I was just everyone was against it. I mean, come on, they had a 2B skin in there. What was not to like about it? But, you know, people immediately hated the game for some reason, and it died. Cats Lounge, another thing PlayStation has is terrible security for their platform. It is, but I don't think many people care about that. But their security is bad. They are getting hacked all the time, and it's silly that they're not taking, they're not improving upon that. I do see PC gamers buy Sony multiplayer games if you don't see, or you do see. I mean, at the end of the day, multiplayer games are still going to go to PC. I don't think Sony would ever take that away, especially after Helldivers and stuff like that. Would buying Valve help them with their next console? Who buying Valve? Microsoft? I don't think they would. I don't think Gabe would ever sell. And it would be interesting to see what. I mean, one of the things that makes Valve is their independence. The moment they go under a corporation, everything about Valve is going to change. The way they work, the way they structure, their customer support, everything is going to change. And honestly, I just don't think it's worth it. Valve should just stay the way it is. Yeah, Sony don't want Xbox players playing their games. I think that's what it is, Mark. I think that's what it is. And it's going to be interesting because if this does happen over the next 6 months, where they say, right, we're stopping first-party games going. Second-party and third-party, sure, that's fine. But first-party games, no. It'll be interesting to see how Asher responds to that in the meantime, and what that will mean for Game Pass. Because if Microsoft does go back to full-on exclusivity, and that would also mean Microsoft stopping games releasing day and date on PC, I don't see Game Pass in its current structure lasting very long. I see it changing quite drastically very quickly in terms of day and date games. So there's a lot of variables here to consider, a lot of variables to go about, depending on how Microsoft or Asher Sharma decides to react to this, if this is true. They would also have to refund all PC players. Why would they have to do that, Garden? The games that you have there will stay. They're not pulling the games off. They're just saying that the next games that are coming won't be coming. So Uncharted, The Last of Us, those games, they don't come off Steam or wherever they are. They stay. You keep those games. What they're saying is, like the Wolverines and the games coming next, like Saros or whatever, those games or Intergalactic won't be on PC. They're just going to stop releasing titles from a certain date, from a certain cutoff date. The FTC in regards to what, Chile? At that point, I don't think the FTC would have any leg to stand on because Sony's the one that pulled the first punch. They would have to go after Sony as well at that point. I know the FTC was in Sony's pocket and they, were protecting Sony like there was no other, but at that point, if they see Sony pulling out all their games away from PC and leaving it only on PlayStation, Microsoft are well within their right to do exactly the same thing. You know what, Revan? You're not wrong. You are not wrong. I mean, I still remember Judge Jacqueline Corley, right? When she turned around to that FTC lawyer and turned around and said, can I ask you, you've said PlayStation, I think it was like 65 or 72 times, something like that, in that hearing they had on that day. And you never once said anything about the consumer. And then the FTC lawyer turned around and said, well, when I say PlayStation, I mean the consumer. And she said, no, you're talking about protecting PlayStation. And then they changed their tune from the word PlayStation to consumer. I mean, it was obvious, right? That was so obvious. If that ever happens, then that'll be when I stop playing Sony first-party games. I mean, that's a choice. Needs to be timed at least. Well, they currently are timed at the moment. Look, for me, I don't see any reason why this should happen, right? Outside of this. This is the only reason it's going to happen. Because Xbox Magnus can play PlayStation games. And who knows, right? I'm going to say this. Let me just...
Sony doesn't like money. LOL, bye money. LOL.
Maybe, right? Just maybe. Right? Just maybe, right? Can you see that button there? That Xbox button? Can you see it? On this Xbox handheld? Maybe that is what triggered Sony. Xbox fans playing PlayStation games on a device that's called an Xbox. And maybe ultimately they've seen that and how Xbox fans are just happy-dally playing games on their Xbox device and seeing what it means in the grand future of things. I don't know. I mean, it could absolutely be anything, but them pulling out like that drastically is weird. Money is money at the end of the day. And like Shuhei Yoshida said, these games print money, so it doesn't cost them much support. They make a lot of money off it. So what's the downside? Nobody buys a PS5 for exclusives. Everywhere 90 million shipped is not sold. Revan, I've had this discussion multiple times, and it gets me nowhere, man. You're 100% right. 90 million shipped does not mean sold, right? And like I said, I've had the base PS5 and the Pro, so in that 90 million, I've had two, right? I know someone on X who started off with a digital PS5, then bought a disc PS5 because they weren't available at the time, then upgraded to the Slim, and then upgraded to the PS5 Pro. He bought all 4 PS5s. And there are so many people there. But those 4 PS5s, or if you include my 2 as well, that's 6, is restricted to 2 gamer tags only. There's only 2 customers in that 6. This doesn't just apply to PlayStation before the fanboys get all up in their knickers. It applies to all platforms. But what I'm saying is, that 90 million shipped, or 40 million shipped, or 50 million shipped, is very, very deceitful. What you want to know is how many consumers do you actually have playing on those platforms? How many logins do you have? If that login is 60 million, that's the number that's really important. Having 90 million or 100 million when you've only got 40 million consoles sold means absolutely nothing, right? So it's the finer details in the numbers that's important. But those are the numbers that none of these corporations ever give you. None of them. And so the shipped number doesn't really make any sense. I think it was, is it KGN or still someone else? They have 5 PS5s in their house, 1 for each room. Because they don't want to lug around or use a PS Portal. So they have a PS5 in every single room that they've got. And they've got 5 of them. Right? So that's 5 PS5s for 1 login. That's the point I'm trying to make. And a lot of people just don't get that. Thank you for the 2 Drumliner roller. Sony doesn't like money. Bye-bye money. Thank you for the 2, my guy. Well, I'm not buying consoles next generation, so there'll be no more of my money going to Sony. Oh, come on, Gorsty. We all know about that white van. You never bought them to begin with. Guy's trying to convince everyone he bought his PS5. You gotta be more like me, mate. You gotta be more like me. Hard-earned cash. Would you consider yourself an Xbox fanboy? No.
But got to run.
I wouldn't consider myself an Xbox fanboy, no. I'd consider myself an Xbox fan. Hey, Chili, thank you so much for the 2. Hey, Chili, just let me know when you'd like to be on, man. Just reach out to me. And we'll make it happen. But yeah, no, I wouldn't consider myself an Xbox fanboy. I would consider myself an Xbox fan. And I've been an Xbox fan since the OG Xbox. That doesn't mean that I don't like other platforms. I do enjoy PlayStation gaming. I enjoy a little bit of Nintendo gaming. You know, I buy all the Nintendo platforms, but I rarely use them. It's my least used platform. But yeah, I would call myself an Xbox fan, but not a fanboy. You know, I'm not gonna go and drink the Kool-Aid and say X, Y, and Z, if that makes sense. Invictus, you're having fun with Marathon? Good. I'm happy to hear that. Macromancer, look, I'm generally not into that discussion, right? But I saw Gene, and if you remove that wig, it's a man. Right? I'll see if I can find it. There is no way. Absolutely no way. That is just a dude, man. They did Gene dirty. I think it's Gene. Let me see if I can find it. They did her dirty, man. That was dirty. Let's put this here because that's part of my conversation. Man, I've been quite active on X today. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Right. We'll come back to the PlayStation conversation in just a second. But come on, man. Look, I know I'm not into none of this discussion about the work stuff, but that's just wrong, man. I don't care what anyone says. There is no shot you're going to tell me that if you remove that wig off her head, that don't look like a man. Look, I don't normally call this stuff out, but look, even keeping it real, it looks like she's in her 60s or just came out of a brawl and got beaten up pretty hard. No reason for her to look like that. That person that designed her really has deeply seated issues. That's pretty bad, man. Take the hair off and it's a man. It is. There is no... Look, I'm normally in, like, the I don't care field when it comes to this sort of stuff, but that is wrong. Look, when I showed my missus this picture, she turned around and said, "What the F is that?" Right? That was her response. That was a female response to looking at a female character in the game. Her response was, "What the F is that?" Not who is that, what is that? Because she didn't even think that thing was human. Agent Nelson. Right, so that's just there's like so many things wrong with that. Maybe that's what they're aiming for. These woke, I don't know, man. There was just something wrong with that. But yeah, so you've got the Xbox Magnus coming out in 27 potentially, and I think this decision by Sony is, if it is real, is I think it's going to agree with your wife. If it's real, I think it's going to have massive shake-up in the industry, and I think Microsoft will respond. I don't think that's an early build, Darren. That is not an early build. But my concern out of all of this is, of course, what's going to happen to Nexus, and hopefully Sony is right now setting them up as a support studio so they do not suffer the same fate as Bluepoint, who, let's face it, got screwed over by the PlayStation management, right? People trying to defend Sony by saying that wasn't the case. It absolutely was the case. They took the live service away from them, then they pitched a number of titles which, again, were refused, so they weren't even given work to do over the past few years, out after the black hole that was created by them cancelling the live service. And to be fair, they should never have been working on a live service anyway, and that project should never have been greenlit. There's so many other games that they could have worked on, remastered or remade, and, you know, I really feel the Sony management failed Bluepoint in epic proportions. But with this one, at least from what I'm hearing and what I'm being told but through people I'm speaking to, they are kind of giving Nexus is busy with support roles in different games within the PlayStation studios, so at least they're not just sitting there twiddling their thumbs. But as you can see here, Jason Schreier, John Linneman, and Nate DeHate, and Sneaker SO, and there's someone else, I just can't remember the name, speculated about Sony backing away from putting single-player games on PC. Schreier later said, it's not speculation, and he has more on that soon. So it looks like an article is going to arrive from Jason Schreier talking about this very soon, where he's going to either expose it or reveal it. And I think Sony, if I was Sony, I would come out and control the narrative and kind of, you know, deal with it that way. Don't let someone else expose it. That's the worst thing you could do. There are a lot of PC gamers, man. But a lot of them also don't play these games. Right? A lot of them play, you know, your indie games, your games like, what is it? Among Us, Roblox, Fortnite. A lot of them are playing these games. They're playing those, what was that game my kid was playing the other day? Those kind of indie horror games and silly climbing games. You know, a mad portion of them are playing those games. They're not playing like the AAA releases. So, yes, there's a lot of people on there, but there's also people that are running Steam that still have a Pentium 1 processor. Maybe. Kicked you out of Marathon? So you deleted it? Wait, I thought you had high hopes for the game. Sweet Baby was a disaster. And they know it. Counter-Strike is another one. Rabbi, we're going to talk about this in the stream. And I'll probably make a small video on that as well later. But we're going to come to that soonish. So Banisher, I'm guessing you would love for Microsoft to go exclusive as well and take their games off PC as well? Right? You would absolutely love that as well, for Fable to be removed off PC? No, Greyman. It's within Sony's right to keep their products to themselves, right? And doing third-party deals is part of the game. They're allowed to do that. Like, if Microsoft wanted to, instead of buying ABK, they could have literally just gone and money-hatted every single game to Xbox. And they would have won overnight. They had that opportunity. Yes, it would have been a lost leader for a while, but they've got the trillions to back it up. Right? Third-party contracts are part of business. Leaving your games exclusive to your platform is also part of business. Now, what Sony did back in the day with Dreamcast, that was anti-consumer. And that should have been raised, and Sony should have got into a lot of trouble with that. But no one really flagged that up. But they didn't do that, right? Because what Sony did back in the day with the Dreamcast, they turned around and told companies like Rockstar, if you release your games on the Dreamcast, you are not going to release it on my platform. And they were dictating third-party studios this way because they had a massive market share. And because they knew that they could bully these companies because they would sell more on the PS1 as opposed to the Dreamcast, they got away with it. But the FTC or the CMA or anything like that, they didn't care at the time because gaming just wasn't seen as a big thing. EA as well, right? EA turned around and told Sega, you need to stop your 2K games. You know, the Sega sports games? EA turned around and said, if you release your Sega sports games, we are going to no longer release a single EA game on your platform. Sega said, no, we're not going to stop doing that. It's, you know, we're not going to shut down our studios for you. And so EA stopped releasing games on thing. But EA is a third-party studio, so they can do what they want. When you're a platform holder, that changes things. That changes things, right? And so you have that's when anti-consumerism comes in. Kubini? I mean, I think if Microsoft goes back to the day of exclusivity, I think that's going to be the case, right? I think if Microsoft decide that if Sony's going back to full-on exclusives, then that is going... I think their multiplayer game... I mean, you know, the multiplayer games, and I think especially... Well, Call of Duty still has probably another, 7 years on the contract with the CMA, so that's going to go regardless. But for everything else, multiplayer games like Overwatch, I think should still go around. But if they want to put the rest of them as exclusive, then the first thing that's going to have to drop is day-and-date Game Pass games. And what that will mean for Game Pass at that point is unknown. There'll probably be a couple months between them, so those that want to play it day and date will buy it. And I think at that point, maybe a drop in price for Game Pass will come into play as well to coincide with it. Or maybe they'll bring in stuff like World of Warcraft and other subscription services to try and maintain that price by adding more value to the service. I don't know. Nintendo did the same? Well, what did Nintendo do? Rabbit, we're going to get into that conversation in a little bit. How she used a corporate roleplay Xbox is not... I don't know what Xbox is doing, Moonlight. I'm saying, in light of what Sony is talking about here, things may change drastically in how they approach things. I think Microsoft's big plan was that with the release of their hybrid PC, they were going to get those games on Xbox anyway, so they didn't really have to do anything. It kind of still worked for them. Even though those games would come a year late to PC, Xbox fans would still be able to play them. If Sony goes down this route, that will change the strategy that Microsoft has drastically. That's a big variable change for them, because now Sony is basically sticking the middle finger to them. And like I said, I still believe, and unless someone from, Microsoft, Sony comes out and says, and even if they do say, I still won't believe it. It is Xbox Magnus related, so we'll see how that goes. What if they do exclusive Game Pass games, like they say Fable is a Game Pass exclusive, just like Netflix services? I don't think they'll go down that route, Weapon. Because then you'd kind of need to be on Game Pass in order to play those, and that's not a world I want to be in. I would hate that to happen. Second and third party games, potentially. Don't get me wrong, even if they weren't day and date, there's still a lot of value that can be had there. Is Astrobot on PC? Last I heard, there was a port, but they kind of held it back. Same for Gran Turismo 7, Harry. And as for Demon Souls, Sony doesn't touch that. Let anyone touch that. What has sold well on PlayStation so far? So right now we know that they sold 43 million copy units in total of their games, and that includes Helldivers. Helldivers was a surprise hit, so if you actually remove Helldivers, that drops down drastically. I think Helldivers sold like what? Was it 15 million? I think 11 million of that was on PC, so if you take like 10 million away from that 43 million, they've managed to sell about 30 million units on all the games they've released on PC, which really isn't that much. Hey, Sanchez. I don't know how much they're... Well, porting is a lot cheaper than actually building the games from scratch, because you've already got the code. They were already built on PC. It's all about optimizing them at that point for PC. Don't forget, any game that's made on PlayStation or on Xbox, even on Switch, is built on a PC. And then once they've kind of got it built, then they get it working on the SDK of the PlayStation. So, you know, they've already got the framework sitting there, so it's just about optimizing that framework to be PC compliant. So it's a lot easier, it's a lot cheaper. PC next 2026 is next gen Xbox is likely next year now, based on AMD's information. Rabbi. But the big thing is Xbox needs to get rid of day one on Steam. They need to promote their own launcher more, especially going into Magnus. I agree with that, Kabini, but PC gamers don't buy anything that's not on Steam. And we've seen this time and time again. So from a business perspective, it's not a smart move. However, if they want to go back to full exclusivity and at the same time maintain the ecosystem, that could work, right? They could then turn around and say the games are going to be on our Xbox platform, they're going to be on Xbox PC app, so if you want them on PC, this is where you can get them. Otherwise, you know, you just don't get it for a while. That they can do, and I can see that working. And then their ecosystem for the Xbox community would still be intact, because whether you're using one of these, right, which is a great console by the way, or a PC or an Xbox, you'll still be able to play those games, whether it's through the PC app launcher or the console itself, and that would still be true ecosystem connectivity. So that I can see working. Magnus, Harry, is likely 27, yeah, because AMD said that their chips won't be ready until the end of 2026, so they'll probably go into production late, like by end of 26, early 27. So, and on top of that, they also confirmed in their earnings call that they will be able to support Microsoft on their console launch if they want to do it in 2027, not 26. So there's a clear indication there that the actual SoC chip, the semi-custom SoC chip that they've got going, isn't going to be ready in 26, which is why the OEMs that are kind of being rumored to come out in 26, they might come, but they're not going to have that custom SoC chip, so they're going to be no different to your PC. So the OEM ones are basically going to be the same as my PC. That's it. So I don't really know how much value they're going to have, But the true next-gen experience will be from Microsoft, which will likely launch in 27. The thing I am not buying is all this talk of change. Which change, Infinite? The majority actually don't, Garden. Microsoft has, give or take, around 35 to 40 million Game Pass subscribers. Around 15 million of those are on PC. I'd say, well, I guess when you say, I'd say maybe 20 million is likely on console at this point, and give or take another 1 to 5 million is on cloud. PC, I think, hit like 17, 18 million at some point when Satya was talking about it, because it was at around 15 million, and then they said it gained another like 3 million subscribers. Obviously, we don't know the actual numbers, so I'm just speculating based on the limited information that we have. So I'm just going to say 15, 20, and anything between 1 and 3 million on cloud. So it's not as, one lopsided as people think it is. There are a lot of PC gamers using cloud gaming. You don't like the PC launcher, Raichi? There is stuff that I don't like about the Xbox launcher. My biggest one is the fact that you can't group anything. Now that you've got your library all kind of mixed with everything, they really need to find a way to group. This filter I just don't like. I think they need a lot more work to make that work. You know how Xbox has pins on their dashboard? I would really like something like that for this. I think it would work so well. So you can kind of have games I want to play now, group games up in franchises, the way we do on other launchers like Steam. Or on Xbox itself. I just think something like that would be really cool. And I'm shocked that they haven't implemented that. They have been hearing it for years for some of these changes in upper management. Infinite, there's a reason why they've been ignoring it, right? The reason why they've been ignoring it is because when Magnus launches, it won't matter. They can play everything. You can play all the Steam games. You can play all the PlayStation games that are ported. You can play all the Xbox games. It's like the Infinity Gauntlet. You get access to everything. And if you really want to go shady and go down the dark side of gaming, you could even get access to a certain, plumber's platform as well. What I'm saying is they had access to everything, but if Sony now remove all their games, not remove. Let me rephrase that, because they're not removing anything. If they stop releasing their future games on PC via single player, that will change the strategy or the direction that Microsoft was going. Because right now, Microsoft just doesn't care if Sony port a game single player to Xbox. It doesn't matter, because next year those games by de facto will work on the new console. They don't have to go to a third-party studio and say, hey, are you going to port this game over to our platform? When by de facto, it's going to work on Steam, so it will work on the Xbox Magnus. So Microsoft gets all those games without doing anything. But now, those games are going to stop coming. And so maybe that variable in itself is why change could happen. And let's face it, Microsoft putting their games out to all platforms hasn't really worked. They're not seeing the growth that they want. They're not seeing the, putting it on PlayStation, putting it on Steam. They're not seeing the growth they want. Doom didn't do well. That went out day and date to almost everything. Dark Ages didn't sell well. The Outer Worlds didn't sell well. Right? These games just aren't selling. And whether they're not good enough, or they're not, or they are good enough, or there's another reason, I don't know. But what they've managed to do is undermine the console platform. And as far as studios are concerned, third-party studios, they don't care about the reach on PC or the 500 MAUs. What they care about is how many consoles are out there, because that's their console customers. Now, there is an argument that can be said that xCloud, which uses and even GeForce Now. Well, not GeForce Now because that runs on PC, but xCloud uses the Xbox Series X blades. So there is an argument that can be said that, you know, those customers also count because people are signing up to Game Pass Ultimate just to play the games on xCloud. There are, you know, customers like that. And so there's that argument to be made, and those customers could be included as well. But we don't have a quantifiable number for that, so it's really hard to gauge that number or how many that is. Is it 1 million, 2 million, 3 million? And then does that really do anything to impact the overall numbers in order for them to decide, is this a good return of interest? That 500 million MAU is great for Microsoft internally, for their investors. Look how many players we got. But for a third-party studio, those numbers don't mean anything. Steam Machine is also a threat to Sony, along with Magnus. I think so. The Steam Machine, I think, is an interesting one. I think the fact that Steam Machine will only be available through Steam's website will handicap it a lot. Will only release based Xbox Next Gen console? No, I think it's going to have a Windows base in it. I mean, this is petty, right? And Sony will go to any lengths. There is nothing that I wouldn't expect from Sony, which is why I said this. Call me skeptical, but this has Xbox Magnus all over it. That's petty, right? Right now, Rabbi, we don't know anything. But I think the plan for the next Xbox with Magnus isn't changing. The fact is, they've got a deal signed with AMD. So that next Xbox, from what we know, is coming. I don't think there'll be drastic changes to it. The same thing when PlayStation don't listen to the words, watch their actions, and what they're doing. It says it by itself. I also think like Sony doesn't really know what's going on either, to a certain degree. I'm just trying to catch up with chat. If I've missed stuff, just re-ask chat, because my scroll stopped working. But I think Sony in their business update not that long ago turned around and said, you know, they're looking at PC and how they can monetize that. And now this is coming out, so clearly there's discussions internally where some parts, I guess, agree that they want to continue doing it. Other parts don't, because they feel that it might be hurting the PlayStation console sales or identity, or just, you know, undermine the console. And we all know that Sony is all about console sales. That is their number one priority, because it locks you into their ecosystem. Well, to their store, basically. What happened? Will not release PC computer. Rabbi, I think they will. You think they won't? We'll have to see. I didn't. Darren, could you copy and paste it? Oh, wait, I've just seen it. Christopher Judge said he'll only return to Stargate if Tilk story makes sense.
Are you jumping on Marathon's server smash?
Joe Flanagan was invited to the writer's room Wednesday. Jason Momoa isn't interested. Hey, if Christopher Judge returns as Tilk for Stargate, I'm there day one, man. Like, I think Christopher Judge was a bit of a prick for what he did at the show awards for Call of Duty. I think that was a massive low blow when everyone was kicking them down. No need for it. But he was a great Tilk. It was one of my favorite characters. And I hope he does, because I really love Stargate. The Gaming Ledger. Ooh, welcome, my dude. Are you jumping on Marathon Server Smash? I will be. I've just downloaded it. So after stream, I'm gonna check it out. And yeah, I'm hoping. Have you tried it, Ledge Gaming? And if you have, what's your thoughts on it, buddy? Thank you for the 2. I appreciate it. APU is done for, Magnus. No turning back now. Yeah, the APU is done, right? But also there are benefits, like this also has an APU in it. The the X variant of the Ally, which will allow certain things to be run on it, which is great. So, yeah. But yeah, Gaming Ledger, I didn't know it released. I thought it was releasing tomorrow, along with Hunter Gathering. That is tomorrow, right? Hunter Gathering. Is that on PC as well, the beta? Does anyone know? I didn't think it was releasing today, so I kind of decided to spend my day with little doggo. The interface is awful. Hey, that's not a good look, man. You're not selling it to me. Asher, if you're watching, no more Xbox games. They are past the design phase. Magnus, I think the Magnus is going to come out in the way it is. And honestly, I think that's probably the right direction for Xbox. With the way it is, I think, you know, as Xbox gamers, getting access not only to Xbox games, but to a wider selection of games available as well, is probably a good thing. They'll get access to games that previously was not on the platform, like the Atelier series, like the Yi series, you know, like the Trail series. There's loads of like these niche games that just never make it to the Xbox platform, and these games will instantly become available to the Xbox platform. Who knows? You'll probably be able to do VR gaming as well if you really wanted to at that point. So it becomes a lot more accessible. But it's, you know, how they handle the Xbox games, if Sony decide to do this, is going to be interesting. Oh, really? Oh, yes, yes, yes. I remember now. Hey. What happened to the Guyver guy? I forgot his name now. Is he too old? It's a shame Joe Flanagan won't be coming back there. But I'd much rather have I can't remember his name, the Guyver guy. I mean, Nintendo are the worst, man. But they know that their community will buy everything and anything. I think Phantom Blades will review better than Wolverine for sure. Phantom Blades looks interesting. I just hope it's not another Souls-like game because I don't really enjoy those. Otherwise, it'll be interesting. Richard Dean Anderson, that's it. That's it. Hey, look, he was the Guyver guy. He played the Guyver. Look, everyone knows him through that. Because of averages being out in December. And look, all I'm going to say is that Resident Evil 9 comes out, was it tomorrow? And it's day one on my good old trusty GeForce Now. No, that's where I'll be playing it. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Few weeks away from GDC, Xbox will be showing off their future hardware, hopefully. I don't think we'll see the hardware, but I think they'll be talking about it and saying what it can do. But again, we've had them do that with a bunch of other stuff. I think we really just need to see it running in motion before we can, you know, see what's going on with it. What new game is that, Rebby? Yeah, that's what I mean, Vital. It's not really for that. It's more like a dev talk. And so they'll probably talk about what it's going to be capable of or what they're, you know, doing to help it work. But that's about it. Hey, Byron, thank you for the new membership. I appreciate you, buddy. You sent me a website. Why is this so slow? What is this? We'll have a look at that in a sec. Thanks for that. Yeah, it's not just Microsoft and Xbox showing stuff. I don't know. I don't. It's not so much about that. I think it's more. Yeah, I've just seen it, Rabbi. The million, and he got the money for it at auction. Jesus. You reckon GTA 6 will sell 30 million? Yeah, I saw it, Susano. Hey, tall man, how's it going? But yeah, so that's where I'm standing with this. It's going to be interesting to see where it stands, but I do think... I mean, just call me crazy, but why would Sony, out of the blue, decide this? And who knows? Maybe they heard murmurings inside, I think. Because look, there's this interview that was had, right? Rabbi, thanks for sending me this. I appreciate it. So there's this interview that ex-Microsoft Games leader, not worried, new Xbox CEO has no games experience, Ed Fry's exclusive interview. And so we all know Seamus Blackley decided that he was going to completely crucify Xbox and their direction, and he said pretty much they are going to shut down. But you know, in this interview, this is what Generation 5 of Xbox leaders, something like that. I don't know if you've read or seen some of the reactions people are having, or if you have yourself. I haven't seen a lot, and maybe you can guess what some of the reactions are. I think I'm generally pretty upbeat about it all. First of all, the relationship between Matt and Asher, it reminds me a bit of the relationship between Robbie back and me. I was mostly looking down, trying to build the content, build the games, which is what Matt Booty is going to be doing, right? That's going to be what he's focused on. And Robbie was managing the build, was managing Bill and Steve, sales and marketing, stuff like that, which is what Asher is, in my opinion, going to be doing, because she's been brought in to grow Xbox, because clearly it isn't growing and it's stagnated. And one of the things that people said when she was coming in, and one of her specialties, is growth, growing industries, growing corporations, growing divisions. That's what she specializes in. And so you've got one person dealing with the gaming side and the other person, so they've got separate roles, and I think that's probably a good thing, right? I think that's a good thing. Chaos, the same guys said the same thing about last year, about Sony not porting to PC. I think in regards to that, it's more a case of these conversations are happening. If it was like, say, Puerto Rock or Nibs or someone else like that saying these information, I'd just say screw it, don't listen to it, it's not worth it. But when you've got big, more, prominent insiders coming out all at the same time, and Jason about to release an article on this, then you kind of start to take a little more of a cadence notice and see where that's going. But with this, I think, what Ed is saying here is spot on. For the most part, that worked pretty well. I see it as getting back to that kind of structure, which could be good. Matt is really good at what he does, comes from games business, super focused on games, been there a long time. Asher doesn't seem to have any real experience, but that was true when I worked for Robbie too. Robbie didn't come in with any game experience. As long as each person respects what the other person is good at, that can work fine. And, I've worked in companies where the CEO really doesn't know anything, but others do. And some of the places I've worked at where that's actually been the case have been the best places, because there's a much more, almost like a community within the workplace where people respect each other rather than it just being a cutthroat situation. So clearly it's worked before at Xbox. There's no reason why it can't work now. There's a lot of work to do at Microsoft to just deal with the company, keep the company out of your way, and fit what you're doing at Xbox into a bigger company structure. I'm not worried that Asher doesn't come with game experience. I think that's going to be okay. Maybe that's a concern for some people have had. I heard a little about her. She was described to me as bright and capable. I heard an anecdote about her when she was an intern working for someone a while ago. People at the company all decided they were going to work for her someday. She was that good. But some of the veterans have a good opinion of her then. I'm just sharing a couple of anecdotes. I can't tell you where they came from, but that's what I heard. The things that I have heard about her are positive. We talked about Matt already. He's been at Xbox for more than 15 years. Before that, he was at Midway for a long time. I first met Matt at Pinball, an arcade show. I think that's the first time I met him. He came up to me a few years ago. This is how that happens here in Seattle area every year. People who are into old arcade games and pinball machines go. He came up to me. He knew who I was and wanted to say hi. I was thinking about all the different people who came in from outside the game industry. Besides Robbie, there was John Riccitiello, Reggie was another, Peter Moore, Eric Heisberg. It's not uncommon to have that kind of executive move. Right? All of these people, even Reggie, came from outside of the game industry and he became one of the greats, right? That's a list of some great people and some pretty good people. I have different opinions about all of those people you mentioned, but we don't get into that. Thinking about the history of Xbox, do you know my go-to story about Phil for the last whatever years, the story I've told the most about him? When I was quitting Microsoft, I had about 1,200 people who worked for me. One of them came to my office that day that I was leaving. It was Phil. He said, "Should I quit too?" I said, "No. You don't need to quit, Phil. I appreciate the loyalty. I think you should stay." That always stuck with me. Phil was loyal to the end. You were a spreadsheet guy yourself at first, but you always seem to have had a bit of gaming habit. I would say I was more than that. I started writing games when I was a kid in high school, published free games for the Atari. I was very much a gamer on the side when I was doing Excel and Word. So what this is saying is that, in terms of where Asher is right now, having one person, have the business acumen and the other the gamer seems to work. What's this? It does seem like the mission of the day is to have Xbox team move into the era of AI. That seems to be the biggest statement in naming Asher as the CEO. Do you have an opinion on that? How about how that could turn out, or what's the best way to do it? Has Asher said that? She did say we're going to focus on great games and we're not going to do AI slop. It was almost like she was heading off that criticism that people had. If you look at Asher's, I've only looked at her LinkedIn, but she's worked on a lot of different things. The AI has been a pretty recent thing. I didn't take it as a statement about AI myself. I know some people took it that way. I would wait to see what Asher has to say about AI. It sounds like she has something already about. She said something about AI slot. So, there's a lot here. Quite a lot. So I'm going to go through this and pick out the relevant and important stuff and probably make a video on it. But overall, the takeaway from this interview is that both can work at the same time. It's been done before at Xbox, and it will probably happen again, where Matt will deal with the day-to-day running of the video games and Asher will continue to find ways to grow the business and grow Xbox. And that's a good thing. I don't really see anything wrong with that. Right? I think that's a cool thing. There was this trailer. Let's watch this while I catch my breath a little bit. So this is one of the games I'm assuming that came out of China Project. And that was a big stretch. I know, right, Susano? Of course they have, Susano. Do you think people write each line of code themselves? Half the stuff is written for them. Even websites. People don't do websites from scratch anymore. I don't know. What's your thoughts on this? This kind of reminds me of games from back in, like, I don't know, almost like the Xbox One PS4 days. But it's called Sprawl Zero. And it is coming to Steam, PS5, and the Xbox Series X. It is on Xbox, right there. Anime, you're wrong. It doesn't look like an Overwatch clone. God, that was probably the worst place to stop it. Or is it? I think it's... No, it doesn't look like that. It looks like it's like a platform action game. Well, FPS game. But I think it's still in early development. They don't really have much... You know, the AI isn't really fully dead. I don't think the textures and graphics are really fully done yet. So I don't think this is like a hero shooter of any kind. This is more like a Killzone type of game. Since Sony won't release Killzone, I guess these people took it upon themselves to do it themselves. I code and use AI? Dude, everyone does it. The cool thing about AI now is that you don't even have to learn coding properly. You can just do it yourself, right? And have AI help you. Rabbi, we literally just went through that. We literally just covered that story for the past 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Reminds me of Fear minus the horror elements. Yeah, like it looks like one of those games. So I saw this by Ben. Navigating a new space is always difficult without friends. Asher Shard, the community, is behind you and excited to see your vision form a new era of Xbox. We wanted to help with a new banner. Congratulations and welcome. And this is the new banner that they made for Asher to show them all the cool Xbox channels out there. I mean, I think the design is really awesome. But go on. Try and find me in there. Or Dirk Griggity. He's in there somewhere. 70% found their PC in a dumpster. Confirmed. Steve, wasn't it you that was bigging up? I think you said you still run a Pentium 1, right? Or is it a Pentium 2? On your current gaming PC. I don't know, Rabbi. It depends what time I finish today and how much I can get, because that's a big interview. So I'm not 100% sure. No, he runs the Celeron. He fancy. Damn. Riskit is there. Where is it? I saw a Riskit. There it is. If you can see my mouse, he's in the top right hand corner. Riskit the biscuit. Nobody uses that one. Graham and Ad, Riskit is there. Right there. You can see the little car just above the car. You got Special Nick, Clobro. I think it was a cool design though. You got little Banjo Kazooie in the top left hand corner. Hey look, all I use AI now is to summarize stuff. It's a good thing. One single player game every year from PlayStation? Yeah, basically. But they're planning on that being enough to convince people to go into buy a PlayStation 5. I mean, look at it. Steve sent me a message just 5 minutes ago saying that he's buying a PS5 because of Saros. He needs it. Not even Wolverine. He wants Saros. Crap Gamer, he's cheering PlayStation on with the fact that, you know, they are potentially pulling all their games. They are pulling all new games off PC and just being PlayStation only. Darren, that's because I'm not there. That's because I'm not there, Darren. I don't want to. I don't want to do you dirty like that, man. I don't want to do you dirty like that. I know. What's his name? Dirt got really hurt by this. Dirt was really, really hurt by this. They do. They do awaken. Look, I've always said it, man. You know, Sony has treated me well. No matter, you know, regardless of how, what people say, they have treated me well, and they continue to. Yeah, don't do that. I don't want my relationship with Square Enix being screwed because of something that's fake. Nah, Dirt's not on here either. There's a couple of conversations I was having with him, but he got really hurt by this. And you know, I think it's I don't have anything against Dirt Griggity. I think he's a cool guy. But it does feel like there's a certain portion of the Xbox community that generally always gets ousted. He's one of them, I feel. Yeah, like I said, I like that. I think that, you know, I've watched them a few times. I don't really comment, but I've watched them a few times. I think they start quite late as well, so that's why I'm generally not around much. But like I said, they get done dirty as well. He is, like I said, guy's cool. But yeah, it does seem like only the ones that really, really, really drink the Kool-Aid are on here. If you don't drink the full-on Kool-Aid, then you don't really get on here. Yeah, the majority of all of these are on PC now. Almost none of them are on console anymore. I think Boomstick is still on console. He still plays on Xbox. Some of these names I've not heard of before at all. Hey, it is what it is, but I think people should know by now. And even then, Vince, like I said, if you don't drink the Kool-Aid and be completely oblivious and just follow everything people are saying, I mean, look at it. Look, I'm just gonna say this, right? And there are people who I fully respect that are still, as you know, King David would say, holding the line in regards to games on Xbox should not be exclusive. And those people I kind of hold a much bigger respect for. But I've seen people on social media, right, who have been saying exclusives are antiquated, exclusives are not consumer friendly, exclusives aren't the aim of the game anymore. There's no, you lose so much money in exclusivity. And now that Asher turned round and kind of hinted at the notion of exclusivity, these same people, right, have done a 180 reverse again and are saying exclusives are great. And they want exclusives. Right? So you do have a portion of the community that with names in that list where they are literally just following whatever the brass tells them to do. If the brass says that this is, yellow is the new orange, they are going to go with that. Right? And I find that pretty dumb. I do not, I think that's just totally stupid. Now, the people that have stood by it, right, and still are going along the notion that they do not want exclusivity, I have respect for those people because they stood by what they said and they still stand by it. But the moment there's even an inkling of potential change to exclusivity, people are crying out for it. The same people that were saying that exclusives are bad are now saying it's good. Now, tell me if those people are not cheerleaders. And you all know my stance on exclusivity, right? I don't. My reason for liking exclusives isn't because of the whole gatekeeping. I just believe personally that if you tailor it for one platform and one specification, you get a better game. That's it. You get a better experience. That's my belief, and I've held that, for years. You guys know this. I've never changed my tune on that, even though people have come to me and said I'm wrong or my way of thinking is, outdated or whatever. I have maintained that all the way. I still believe Halo should have remained exclusive, though. That was Xbox. That should never have gone. I mean, I bought a Switch 2 at launch. Very rarely use it, but it's there in case there's stuff I want to play on it. From a gamer point of view, I still prefer games going everywhere, but for fanboys, the brand... See, Vince, that's not the reason for me though, right? It's I just think that if a game is tailor made using that hardware, you get the best possible experience and most optimized experience for that game. Unless it's Team Killer, and then they just don't know how to develop their games. But in general, when it's a good studio doing it, it works. But yeah, man, there was a lot of people unhappy with that one. And that's why I said I'm happy to respect your opinion, but I don't agree with it. I think Luna's murdering everyone upstairs. This sounds like a good day. But yeah. No, don't get me wrong. Open platform has, you know, being able to play my games on my Xbox LIX, the ecosystem has worked wonders for me. I'm not saying that an open platform is bad. What I'm saying is that if a game is tailor made for hardware, a specific hardware, you will get the best experience. And that is the only reason why I feel, that exclusives, you're getting the best experience possible. And there's nothing that anyone can say that can really change that. Because you cannot get the same quality in terms of optimization and everything else, building for 20 different specifications, as you would do for one. For starters, you're going to work way longer releasing for those 20 SKUs and still have to compromise. Whereas if you're building it for a single SKU, you are not doing that. So not only do those games come out sooner and get into people's hands sooner, but you also get a much more, in theory, polished delivery. But I'm not saying that the open ecosystem that Microsoft has now is a bad thing. At the end of the day, it works for me. It might not work for everyone else, but as someone who has the handheld, who has a PC and an Xbox, when I want to play my games, I've got options, and that's great. If I stop, when I'm upstairs in my room, I've got my LIX there. I can put it on, play for half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and I can continue where I left off. It's awesome. I'm not denying that at all. Spider-Man 2 had some bugs. The Spider Cube was amusing. I mean, it's just, it'll determine. Time will tell, Maxime. I don't know if it's true or not. It could be, it might not be. But time will tell. Live service games will continue, Sanchez. This is only single player games that it's going to potentially affect. But that one thing that will do, Eye of Fundera, is if Microsoft decides to go full exclusive, if they decided to do that, Game Pass as we know it right now will change drastically. And I think what Kabini said probably makes a lot more sense, where they will completely remove day and date games and make it like, it's if you got the ultimate package, it will come to your console 3 months after launch, and then premium will get it, a year, 9 months after that. That's what makes the most sense for me. Otherwise, it wouldn't. There's, Game Pass can't survive. Donnie, I just think that was a massive slap in the face for Xbox fans. Like, what I'm saying is, it's not even the fact of the games going to PlayStation. For the most part, that hasn't really bothered me. Halo did, because, hey, you know, I'm still an Xbox fan at the end of the day, and Halo going to PlayStation kind of sucked. Halo multiplayer going, I wouldn't care. But the single player kind of sucked. Because Halo's identity, I mean, Xbox's identity is Halo. They're synonymous. But when a guy came out with the PlayStation t-shirt, that was just slapping Xbox fans in the face. Yeah, Darren, that's the old one. Hey, Orange, how's it going? I mean, it's going to be interesting to see, because look, we all know that Sony can be petty, right? There's no denying that. We all know that they can be petty, and this over here, which is my opinion, that the Xbox Magnus is leading this potential change, is reason enough for it, for them to be petty. We've seen them do things for less, so, you know, it is what it is. Where is this information coming from? It's coming from John. Let me see the names. It's coming from Jason Schreier, who's about to have an article about it very soon, where he breaks all the information, according to him. John Lineman, Sneaker SO, Nate the Hate, and there's one more who I'll never remember. I'm guessing it's someone insignificant. But it's coming from around 5 people who are known for their leaking. I mean, they made over $1 billion. Was it? How much? 1 billion? $1.5 billion? That's not nothing. I mean, it's not as much as they made elsewhere, but $1 billion is still $1 billion, man. So if you haven't heard, Nacon apparently has filed for insolvency. So, if everyone in this chat goes and buys 500 copies of RoboCop, and, well, this is a waifu, so you should definitely buy 1,000 copies of whatever game this is, maybe even 2,000 copies, we may actually save Nacon. Nixis could be in trouble, Karen. Yeah, that's the only issue here. But we've been seeing Sony slowly, kind of pushing them in a different direction to be more of a support studio. So hopefully they won't get axed like Bluepoint was. I know, but you also need to take into consideration that these games, some of them have been coming out 5-6 years later. So you've already damaged the potential of your sales anyway by releasing it so late. So there's an argument for both sides. Donnie, you should buy it again. Steve supports this theory. He wants Terminator to land sooner rather than later. Still, what game is this? I don't know. They didn't actually think. I want to know what game that is on the top right hand corner, so I can go check it out. It's possible, Darren. I mean, at the moment, it's just up in the air, right? Maybe it's like a knee-jerk reaction because of the wording or the interview that happened with Jez Corden. It could be anything. It could be a thing. I'm curious about the waifu game. Me too, Steven. Me too. Someone needs to figure out what it is. What new game, Rabbi? And we'll get to it in a bit. We checked out the game that you sent. Oh, well, everyone is getting kicked from the servers for Marathon, which is interesting. Yeah, need to know what game that is, so I can go get it before it decides to get delisted. Yeah, Susanna, use your AI to find out what game this one is on the top right-hand corner. So Xbox has done a bunch of updates in terms of their cloud gaming. You've got 1440p game streaming now, Xbox Ally improvements, and more handheld optimized titles. Post-game recaps, which is cool. A lot of stuff that have gone to insiders. So if we go through the article a little bit, let's talk about some Xbox news. Sharper, smoother play built for Xbox consoles. The Xbox Cloud Gaming on Xbox consoles is leveling up. We're now rolling out up to 1440p higher bitrate streaming for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members, delivering sharper visuals and more responsive gameplay across supported titles and regions. This upgrade is going to the Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One X, Xbox One S consoles, joining the PC app, handheld supported browsers, select Fire TV devices, LG TVs, and Samsung TVs. Updates. Listen for new sounds. So you got the Xbox dashboard sounds that are now being played, which is cool. And you can customize that if you want it on or off. ROG Xbox Ally, you've got improved removable storage formatting. You can now change the hard drive a lot easier, or you can easily format the drives now easier, and you can get officially licensed SanDisk micro SD cards for installing games directly by the Xbox app, which will work better apparently now. Advanced shader delivery indicator, so if games have already got their shaders pre-downloaded, it will now show you. They've made additional improvements based on player feedback. You can see the complete list here. So let's open that and see what's going on here. In February, the Xbox app on PC and Game Bar and Asus Memory Crate updates, sound, improved battery filters, Game Bar audio improvements, and then just a bunch of preview, improved UI scaling at 900p, which I think was desperately needed because it was unplayable. Improved stability with controller emulation. People still use 360 controllers. That's impressive. In case you missed it, when you finish your gaming session, the system will now basically do a recap, and it will have recorded clips for you that you can check if you want to keep or not. It doesn't take any storage. It's stored in the cloud. It's only available for the Xbox Insiders at the moment on PC, but it is coming everywhere else soon. The xCloud web experience, which I think looks great, is live right now if you want to go check it out. Handheld compatibility program, optimizing for players. A bunch of games here have already been put on there, but High on Life 2 is probably one of the big ones. Reanimal and Star Sand Island is mostly compatible. But yeah, High on Life 2 is definitely a handheld thing. Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined is another one. I'm playing this currently a lot on my handheld. It is very well optimized, getting 60 FPS pretty much locked all the time at 17 TDP. Play Anywhere gets a bunch of new games added. There's a lot. So yeah, a whole bunch of games. Stream Your Games, more added. So if you buy your game that isn't on Game Pass, you can stream it. There's a whole bunch here, like Blaz Blue, you've got Styx, Blades of Greed, Star Sand, Romeo Deadman, Reanimal, High on Life 2, Gears of War, and more coming soon, like Chained Echoes. Maybe that game was Chained Echoes. Star Trek Resurgence, and just a lot more. Retro Classics have been added as well, for those that care about retro games. Xbox has more games for mouse and keyboard and touch controls. Company of Heroes, Hotel Barcelona, and Transport Fever. And that's it. That's the big update for Xbox in terms of news. Oh, have you, Brick? Did you send it to me? Send it to me. Send it to me. Send it to me. DM me. It's not supposed to be there. DM me, buddy. Oh, it's Edge of Memories. I thought Edge of Memories was already out. Isn't it? Let's see. Edge of Memories. Edge of Memories. Yeah, it should be. Oh, maybe it's not out. It might be out. Here's a gameplay trailer. You know, I've only just realized. No one told me.
Powerless to change your future. What a future at Harriet.
A woman stands against something.
Promise of your departure, the future, and your defeat. Prepare yourself. We are the
Hello, it looks kind of cool, right?
the gods.
Looks kind of cool. You DM the game to me? Nice. I swear this game is out. It is out, right? Is it available on Steam? Oh, it's not. Its release date is in 2028. Hey, look, we need to save Nacon now because this game isn't out yet and I want it. Right, chat, this is your mission. Along with buying 500 copies of every game that Nacon has released on that picture, you also need to do some super chat so we can all buy more games. Go for it. Anybody excited for Metal Gear Solid 4? I never had the chance to play it and now it's my chance. Orange, it's an amazing game. It's got about 20 hours of cutscenes though, so do prepare for that. I'm not joking. 20 full hours of cutscenes, maybe 22, but it's long. And where is your Ravi? You sent me a link. Oh, Bolt Gun 2. Hang on a minute. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Don't nibble on my toes. Luna. Okay, look. You okay, come here. Come here. You want huggies? You want a bit of huggies? Okay. Come on. Yeah. Okay. You're not gonna. No. Don't climb on me. No climbing. No climbing. Huh?
She climbed onto the back of your chair and sits on your shoulder. I don't know why, she just does it.
I know, but I don't want it to drop.
That's what I was saying, I don't know why she does it, she just stands there.
Is she safe? Doesn't look safe.
I can't tell.
No.
You have to pick her back up and just put her back.
Come here.
She doesn't stop.
You stop here. No. Look. Chat wants to see you.
She
Chat.
runs up.
Chat wants to. Calm down. Good puppy. Good doggo. No. Stop.
I told you, it's well.
Stop. She's going crazy. Have you calmed down now? No. Chat help. Doggo, stop. Look. Chat wants to see you. Chat wants to see you. Look. You see? There you go. Look, chat wants to see you. Nice doggo. Man, I love her so much, chat. I love her so much. She is so noisy at nights, but she is so... She's instantly become like an integral part of the family. I've never had a pup, but now I can't imagine my life without one. Here, come pick her up. Okay, down you go. And off you go. Hey, she just wants to climb all the way to the back of my neck. I don't get it. I don't get it. Sorry to hear that, John. Puppy Destroyer. Yeah, skip all the cutscenes in MGS and you have about 4 hours of gameplay. Still love the game though. Hey, it's great. Apparently, someone beat Resident Evil 9 in 3 hours. That's crazy. I might actually finish it in one stream. Alright, so I've got that clip that you sent. Rabbi, we'll check that out in a sec. Twitch continues to deteriorate as a platform because what do you mean I can't tab out to my second monitor during an ad break? So right now, if you tab out of your ad, I've not actually tried this, but if you get an ad and you tab out, it basically gives you this screen and the ad stops. And when you come back, the ad will continue. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear that, John. Never a nice thing. I can't imagine what would happen if I had to put, you know, when one of my pets become ill or something, man, or when that time comes. Puppy evolves to 12. Mate, I need to figure out, well, I need to learn how to cut her nails because they're quite sharp. But I've had, the vet I went to wouldn't do it, and they said we would do it ourselves, and, well, yeah. Just what I always wanted, a quick resume. Is this actually true? Is this actually true? I've not tried it. I don't watch much Twitch in general. I generally watch what my son is doing. And I was going to ask. Take her to the groomers. I don't know if we have one somewhere around here, Steve. I'll have to have a look. I mean, what are they generally called? Just pet groomers? And is that what they're called? But yeah, this is pretty terrible. Please turn on your webcam so we can ensure you are looking directly. What's next? Please turn on your webcam so we can ensure you are looking directly at the ad. Can you imagine? Oh, Twitch, never change, man. Well, do change for the better, because that's terrible. I'll do a Google search and see if there's any local one we can take her. Only the best for the little pup. She deserves it. Hey, come back, consume some. Oh, so silly. Connect for Twitch. Ninja Gaiden that is getting a DLC, The Two Masters. It lands March 4th. It is don't really know much about it. Maybe see if there's anything in here that's going to talk about it. There's a trailer for it, so we can have a look at that, I guess.
lines end here. Go back to the pit you call home.
Okay, so that wasn't really a big reveal, but it was something, right? This mode features 100 unique combat encounters featuring enemies from both the base game and DLC, while debuting new special blood essence, frenzied enemy mechanics, and dynamically changed battle conditions. Alongside the new story content and weapons, players can look forward to the Abyssal Road, a new endurance style. So you're getting the story mode, which is cool. We'll introduce new weapons and scythe. So you've got new story and a boss rush mode, essentially. Pretty cool. And it is going to be on sale for $15. Twitch requires your DNA. Yeah, I thought people would be interested in this because it's kind of cool. The deluxe edition is on sale right now for $58.49. So for those of you that have been looking forward to more Ninja Gaiden, like myself, waiting for any DLC, it's coming. Probably my biggest surprise was the fact that High Guard still exists. I thought they were gone, but apparently not, because Raid Rush is coming. A new game mode and a weapon balance patch coming tomorrow at 9 AM PST. Now I think it's already live, but the new mode is 2 teams of 5 who will take turns attacking and defending their bases. Instead, select your base and use Trader Flint to upgrade your weapons, blah blah blah. They've got a bunch of quality of life stuff that they've added, weapon balances for all of them, basically nerfing a whole bunch of stuff and buffing up a couple of others, and some bug fixes. They have disabled 3 versus 3 though, and all the challenges and stuff that were locked to 3v3 will unlock on 5v5 for those that want to play, and in Raid Rush. So, yeah, I was well shocked to find out that this game was still a thing. High on Life 2 has a roadmap, and there is a lot of content coming for High on Life 2. You've got progression. The first hotfix is progression blockers and crashes. That's in February. Then in March, you get your first official patch, which is performance optimizations, soft locks, graphical upgrades, gameplay improvements. And then in April, you still don't get any new content. It's just optimization and general bug fixes. And then in May, we don't know what else you get. But it's a good roadmap. Hey, Indiana Jones is amazing, Garden. It's so good. Hey, what's up, PS5 Blows? What up? Alright, those 2 things we've already covered. This was something that Rabbi showed us, so let's check it out. This is another game. I think it's Bolt Gun 2. Warhammer. Lots of Warhammer, I guess. So if you enjoyed the first Bolt Gun, you're getting more Bolt Gun. Clearly the first one did really well because you wouldn't get a second one if it didn't. Is that for High on Life, Steve? If so, I mean, why release a roadmap? A bit weird to release a roadmap just for bug fixes. So yeah, this is available on everything. But yeah. We'll see what Sony has to say in the end. We'll see whether this is new. We'll just have to wait on and see what this news actually is. But hey, at the end of the day, all I hope is Nixes doesn't get nixed. I know in the grand scheme of things, no one really cares. I mean, just look at Blue Point. You saw people going into rage mode for, less than 24 hours before no one even remembers who Blue Point is. So ultimately, no one really cares when studios close down. It's all fake outrage. But no one really wants to see studios close down, right? So hopefully they'll be able to navigate their way around it. And I know what I'm saying is harsh, but deep inside you all know it's true. Unless you know someone that's working at those studios that is directly being impacted by it, you'll wake up tomorrow morning and just not care. That's cool. Yeah, Bold Out for Wolf, it does look good. Hey, Oreo! One sec, peeps. Just need to go grab Oreo. He's locked outside. Sorry about that, folks. Oreo is now fed and happy. Anything else anyone wants to catch up on? There's the little few bits more news. Everyone is saying, just going through my timeline, it's never going to happen. Some people are saying that they respect Sony still seeing Xbox as competition. Dude, what happened? Are you okay? Is there any? Oh, that's good to hear, dude. Well, not good to hear about your lad, but I hope he's recovering well, man. The NHS is definitely not a great place to be. They make you wait for ages. Who banned you, dude? And where did you get banned from? Susanna, where did you send any in your DM? I only see Edge of Memories. I mean, tomorrow there seems to be a red versus blue war going at my kid's school. And the school's doing nothing to protect the children, so just not selling. Oh, your channel is gone. That's horrible. Have you contacted YouTube? Hey, Phantom. I have not played Monit Magic. There's been a lot of problems with YouTube over the past few days. I think their AI is just crashing out. Loads of people. I've heard of it actually. I've heard of Mullet Magic. It was one of those games that was being showed off by Idea Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. So I do remember it, but I never played it. Yeah, they're really slow. You're just going to have to wait, unfortunately. Well, Gorsty, apparently the old bill has basically been notified. They're sending people around, but I just let the school know. Sorry, I'm not sending my kids to school tomorrow. The school said that they're doing nothing in order for precautions, so I said, that's cool. Then I'm just not going to send my child to school tomorrow. They'll come in on Monday. Let's have a look. Witcher 4. Gorson, no, this is with actual physical weapons. The two schools are coming together, and they're coming to where my kids go to school. Thanks for tuning in to The Witcher 4 Unreal Engine 5 tech demo. This was years ago, man. That was June. I'm not seeing anything for Witcher 4 that's recent. Other than Ciri being able to cast magic spells. I've not played Witcher 3, so is that new? Hey man. SBI Wolverine. That Mr. Future Game Show. I've already been invited to that, Rabbi, so we'll be doing that next week, Thursday, I believe. Is that next week? No, it's the week after. Is it on the 12th? I thought it was on the 5th. I'll have to double check. But if it's on the 12th, I've already been invited to it anyway. Pretty much Woodpit. Domino's, better hurry up with your pizza. Yeah, I'll be watching the Future Game Show, so we'll be checking that out on the Thursday.
Oh my god.
What?
I see what she'd be chewing at.
Yeah, the black bag over there.
The Christmas tree.
The Christmas tree, yeah.
You rat. You ruined my Christmas.
But I can't find any news on the Witcher 4.
I know they're remaking The Witcher 1.
Yeah, I saw someone in chat say that they're making The Witcher 1. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate you. But I didn't see anything else about The Witcher or anything else. I'm just having a quick look, and I can't really see anything at the moment. Nothing out of the ordinary, anyway. Yeah.
Is it a horror game?
No, have you played Little Nightmares?
Yeah.
So Little Nightmares 1 and 2, then the developers left, and they made their own studio and made Reanimal.
So it's like that game.
Little Nightmares 3 was made by a different team.
Yeah, so what's Reanimal? Is it like Little Nightmares?
Yeah.
It's like a little thriller kind of game.
It's Little Nightmares, yeah. It's basically like Little Nightmares. That's why I asked if you wanted to play it.
Because I'm doing a horror-thon for 30 days. So I've just
30 days. It's not even Halloween yet.
It doesn't have to be. You pick one variety of games and you play that. And they picked horror.
Horrors are always fun. They make you scared and jump.
Fucking rats. So if there's any horror multiple games, like multiplayer games, we could do collaborations on that if you want.
Yeah. I'm gonna play Resident Evil 9 tomorrow, maybe?
They're telling me to do Resident Evil. Apparently some of them are really long, so they'll keep me going for a while.
I did like 10, 12 hours. That's for most of them.
Probably played something.
I've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and soon to 9.
Okay, so basically one of them.
I don't know if I've got the Resident Evil 0 and 1. I might have to rebuy those. 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, there was talks about Witcher 1. I didn't know they actually remade it. No spoilers for what? I haven't played Resident Evil 9.
So what happens is,
But yeah, I mean, at the moment, this is probably the biggest news, and I think this is going to overtake the whole CEO discussion that's going on right now with everything around social media. And I think it's I think it's going to be a big change. And in my opinion, my personal opinion, if Sony does decide to go down that route, I think it's going to change a lot of things with Xbox. I think you'll see a drastic change from them as well, in kind. I think right now, Microsoft didn't really care, mainly because those PlayStation PC ports are coming to Xbox Magnus as soon as Magnus is out, so they didn't really care. But if Sony stops doing that, and in my opinion, it is because, of Xbox Magnus, that I don't see any other reason why Sony would stop it. It has to be because of that. And you know, I think what Nim said here kind of goes along with what I'm saying, right? Xbox fans this week, exclusives are great again. PlayStation, hear you. It kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm saying, so he's kind of saying the same thing and also mocking the CEO at the same time. But yeah, I think there's definitely a correlation there, and I do think Xbox will respond in kind. I think 2026 is going to be an interesting year in terms of shifts and changes that are coming. They want to make the Witcher exclusive. I don't think they want to make the Witcher exclusive. It is being developed on the PS5 as the primary platform, though. That's the interesting part, Woodpit. The first people to really talk about it was Digital Foundry, and we all know they've got, you know, ties with Sony. So, I don't know. I think there's more truth to it than not. But I don't think a decision has been made yet. But I do think if Sony wants to kind of control the narrative, we'll probably hear something over the course of next week and see where it goes. If Sony stop releasing games on PC, it will affect the studio in the future. Nexus is the one that is potentially going to stop, and I think if the support side of things isn't working, they're just going to close the studio. That's it. Who knows, if Wolverine doesn't sell enough for Marvel's liking, they refuse to port it to PC. Wonder if Marvel would pull the license. I'm not sure if they'll pull the license, but if their contract is anything like the Spider-Man license, the game selling a certain, you know, early on, they're basically going to be milking PlayStation for pretty much everything they've got. That contract was dirty. The one that Sony signed with Spider-Man 2, that was dirty, man. Taking up to 40% of their revenue of sold games. That's crazy. Microsoft should buy Nix's? Why? I think they've got enough studios as it is that's capable of making PC games. There's a lot of smoke, Woodpit. There's a lot of smoke. They just tied some at 300k a year to port games. Yeah, they could also let them go though, right? Just look at Bluepoint. Microsoft should buy Domino's. I mean, they should buy Royal Mail at this point. We haven't got any mail for the past week, and apparently they're having staff shortages. So I think Microsoft should buy them and make more mail people available so I can get my mail. Yeah, Disney is greedy, but who knows if what that contract or stuff has got going, right? It's all based on a contract in the end. But if they lose money, you know, Disney will have a get out clause. And Sony won't like that. Your local Domino's is 4 streets away. Nice. We'll need to sell over 15 million copies before it starts to turn a profit. How much is it costing to make that game? Because if it's anything like Spider-Man, that seems a little high. I mean, at 15 million, you're looking, give or take, like, you know, $600 million. I don't think the budget is that high. Because Sony needed to sell 7.2 million copies digitally in order to break even with Spider-Man 2. And if you then counted the bundled copies and, say, the copies off the shelf, which also have like a fee that goes to the retailer, then you're probably looking closer to about 10 million, 11 million, right? Maybe even a little more. But that seems realistic, between 10 and 12 million to break even with that contract. 15 seems a little high. Probably 70. Sony showed some gameplay, but there isn't much else other than that. No, it's not. That's why I said it's based on the contract, and I'm basing it off of the Spider-Man contract, which is going to be similar in nature with Wolverine, right? I mean, that's all we've got as of right now. We were expecting it to be at the state of play, but it wasn't. And the only reason we got a release date, in my opinion, is because of the Bluepoint news. Warner Brothers is saying games will return to some of our biggest franchises in 27-28. So don't expect anything this year, and most likely most of next year. Apparently, Jez Corden on November the 15th did talk about on Xbox 2 podcast about Sony potentially pulling games back from launching on PC, single player games. So obviously Hip Hop Gamer is going to come out and say he claimed it first, but it looks like Jez might be the original one that broke the story. But my money is on Hip Hop Gamer coming out saying that he deserves credit for it. Just going to put it out there. Hogwarts Legacy 2. I'm surprised that hasn't become a thing. Hogwarts Legacy should definitely have been a thing. By the way, so there's a bunch of... obviously, you guys know that Steam Next Fest is currently going on. There's a bunch of games that I've downloaded that I'm checking out. I got a new update for Will Follow the Light. I really love that game. It's such a good game. I released a video on it yesterday and just giving my thoughts on the demo that I played. There's a bunch of other games that I've downloaded that I want to check out. Stuff like Densha Attack, which is really cool. It's like a Jet Set Radio type of game. Mighty Raya, Surangama, the new Turtles game, Empire City, for example. Paragnosia, which looks pretty weird. And there's another one called Misguided. Would you like me to... I made a video on Will Follow the Light. Would you like me to make small videos on these other games as well that I'm checking out via the game Steam Next Fest that might be of interest to some of you? I know they don't usually get a lot of views, but if people are interested, then I'll make a few more. Bloodgun? Haven't seen it. Is it called Bloodgun? Bloodgun. There is no blood gun. There is Gungrave. Oh, the one that what the hell was that noise? Oh, someone put the Hoover on. Yeah, the one that Susanna showed in my Discord. Chrysal. Let's have a look. Theatre of Idols. That's not part of the next fest, though. There's no demo for that. Although it's not that expensive. Apparently one of two of the items from this item's already in my thing. Oh, routine. Okay, never mind. Oh, and they're doing Chronos bundle as well. Yeah, I've just seen it. I'll have a look. It could be interesting. I'll watch some trailers for it. Naoki Hamaguchi. Let's put some thing on. Naoki Hamaguchi says Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade had extremely positive launches on Xbox Series and Nintendo Switch 2. Both Microsoft and Nintendo have been very positive about bringing the Final 7 IP to their platforms. That's great news. Extremely positive launch on both platforms. That's the type of thing you want to hear. It's the Blumhouse game. I recall you're a big fan of that, right, Steve? Crap caper. I like it. I like it, right? Oh, what a troll. The PS5 Pro version looks so much more lively and stunning than the PC version. Oh, I thought that was funny. Although, apparently Resident Evil 9 is best played on Xbox, according to reviews. Crab Gamer is probably a nice person in real life, but his persona on social media is just a whiny person, man. All he does is cry on social media. Moan. Cry. Moan. He's too whiny for me. Alan Wake 2 Remastered has received a new update. They've added HDR, DLSS, unlocked the frame rate to 240 FPS, and fixed some gameplay visual UI bugs for those interested. Alan Wake the original is phenomenal. If you haven't played it, I recommend it. In lie detector match garden. Alan Wake does not suck. It's a great game. It's the best game. It's such a cool game. It's the ray tracing, right, Darren? PS5 Pro has ray tracing, but it does run at a lower frame rate than the Xbox version. So it just depends. Do you want higher frame rates or lower, or do you want higher frame rates or ray tracing? So that's really what it comes down to. Blackout until March 4th? Don't heard of it. Well, path tracing doesn't come cheap. Ray tracing is overrated until you experience it. Path tracing, on the other hand, is on another level. If you've seen path tracing and ray tracing together, if you turn off ray tracing, then they both run at locked 60. They're the same game, same experience, same graphics. It's literally just the ray tracing. If you turn that off, you've got the same game. Then they're the same. That is the difference between the two. You sacrifice frame rate for ray tracing. Man, the last time I watched wrestling, like proper wrestling, was when Bushwhacker Butch, The Undertaker, Yokozuna, The Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan was still in wrestling, man. Brutus the Barber. That was the last time I watched wrestling. It's a long time. Like, I stopped watching it way before Bret Hart actually dropped and hurt himself for it. I think he died. Or was it his brother? But yeah, the WrestleMania with Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, I think that was like WrestleMania 7. That was probably the last one I remember watching properly. Back in 1800. Come on, man. Those were the cool days of wrestling. Yeah, it was Owen Hart? Yeah. Oh, yeah, well, they're not going to be able to talk about anything. Only one person I've seen break embargo and say that the console versions were not optimized properly and that it was a problem. That's it. But other than that, I haven't really seen much else for Crimson Desert. And even then, I don't even know if the person that actually said it was actually being realistic or not. So there's that as well. Oh, so Highguard is still alive, but Tencent has said, see ya, smell you later, I'm pulling all my funding. So that's why they're still alive. They really are the same thing, with one just having more steps to it. Oh, what do you mean by that? People are suspecting that it will struggle on consoles. Well, apparently the version that these people that they were playing did struggle. The frame rate was all over the place, apparently. I've yet to find a game that fully uses ray tracing. Didn't Cyberpunk 27 use it? I'm hoping to, Darren. $40-60. Oof. Probably going to play it through GeForce Now. I think it should be there day one. So I'm probably going to play it through GeForce Now. Well, for Resi? Oh, I'm just going to put... For me, it's It removes the load off my PC while I'm streaming because I'd stream on a single PC, not a dual PC. And doing it through the cloud just means it's less weight, and I can just put all the settings on. It has a better GPU than mine. Just enable DLSS. Ain't no one playing 30 FPS. Ain't no one playing 30 FPS. Although I do need to check out Marathon tonight and make a small video on that and give my view and impression on it. And considering the 5090 now is like what, 3K? Yeah, they can go jump. That's crazy money for a graphics card. The 5080 is still just above $1,000, which I think is alright. Yeah, I'll just lower stuff, run it at 2K, and do it that way. I'm kind of waiting for Tides of Annihilation. As for Edge of Eternity, wasn't that on Game Pass at one point? I kind of remember starting it. I don't actually know why I stopped playing it, to be honest. I know there must have been a reason, I just don't remember. Turn it on 8K, watch it running at 2 frames a second, and still going, yeah, look at that palm tracing, baby. Stop crying, GPU. This is what you were made for. Yeah, I remember it was a little weird. It kind of felt like an old Dreamcast game, if I'm not mistaken. But this is where cloud gaming comes in, right? Your graphics card doesn't have to cry. Someone else's does. Heat your home during the winter playing on 8K. At least the game will last longer than... Hey man, I've heard people completing Resident Evil 9 in like 3 hours. That's mental. I'm guessing they knew exactly where to go and all the puzzles. But they were saying it was their first playthrough going through it in 3 hours. I don't even know... I mean, is that even normal? Trying to just see if I can find the person that said it. I'm not gonna put it on screen because, you know, spoilers and all. But can't remember who said it, but I know someone did. I just think 3 hours seemed a little bit short. I mean, it's £40 unloaded, so that's where I'm gonna get it personally. It's not full price and it's a lot cheaper. Yeah, I can't find who said it. I think it might have been Gene. But I don't know. It was Gene. So this was his third or fourth playthrough, but that was his total playtime. I'm guessing all the cutscenes were skipped, and he knew obviously he knew all the puzzles and where to go. But that's crazy, man. 2 hours and 31 minutes. That said, I do remember completing Metal Gear Solid 2 in under 2 hours, so. Yeah, there's no point in buying it directly from Steam when you could just go there, buy it, and activate it, right? The code still works. I think that seems fair. £30 would have probably been fair. With that sort of a playtime, I think that's fair. But folks, I think that's going to be it for today. I've run out of things to talk about. I hope you've enjoyed the show. I am considering going back to dual streaming again. Not right now, but it's something I'm thinking about. So I'd love to get your thoughts on that as well. Because I know that a lot of people don't like YouTube for the gaming stuff, and they prefer to go to other platforms. So it is something I'm considering going back to potentially. Not a huge fan of dual streaming, mainly because it adds like a lot of latency, so there's no real-time communication. But something I'm thinking about, so love to hear your thoughts on that, either, on my Discord or, in a community post that I'm going to put up at some point. So do let me know and chime in. But folks, that's going to be it. Thank you so much for hanging out tonight. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you in the next one. Let me just have a quick look at Loaded before I do go, because that sounded a little odd to me. Loaded. 41. Bye now. Close. Yeah, it's 41. It's 41.92. I do have some CD coins that were there. I'm guessing from a previous purchase, but it's 41.99 on thing. This isn't the deluxe edition. This is the base edition. The deluxe edition is the $50 one. You might have got the deluxe edition one, Steve, because I think that one is $50. If I go back to continue shopping and go to thing. Yeah, the deluxe edition is $50.99. So, Steve, you probably picked up the deluxe edition. And the deluxe edition doesn't really give you much in terms of extras. They gave you a bunch of costumes for Grace, a bunch of costumes for Leon, a couple of screen filters, Apocalypse and Noir, a couple of weapon skins, a couple of charms, an audio pack for Raccoon City Classic, and there's a files, letters from 1998. Nothing that adds to the gameplay. No DLC or nothing like that. So if none of those stuff really interests you, the deluxe edition isn't worth it. So that's probably Ghosty. I think he just bought the deluxe edition instead of buying the basic edition, because it's £51. The deluxe edition. Recommended specs for this is an i7 or an AMD Ryzen 5500. Recommended RTX 2060 Super. Jeez, those are low specs. Then, my friend, you got bumped. Just having a look. Maybe it's because I'm paying through PayPal. I don't get that. No, even when I'm going to pay by card, preferred method, I don't have that billing address set to the UK. I don't know, man. I don't see what you see. Maybe your VPN is on. You do say that your VPN is on all the time, so maybe that's the case. You paid double tax. I do recall you saying that on your PC, your VPN is always active. So, maybe that's the case. But folks, that's going to be it. Do look out for that community post and let me know what you think about dual streaming, especially the Let's Plays. And I'll see you then, because we are doing a lot of Let's Plays at present. Well, I'm trying to do them anyway, when news is down, to fill in like some gaps, and I hope people are enjoying them. Xbox Resident Evil Requiem scored higher than the PS5 version. That's PlayStation tax at work. Why is it PlayStation tax at work? There was like 50 times more people reviewing the PS5 version. Tax fraud alert. Look at the number of reviews. That should tell you everything. But folks, that's it. Thanks so much for hanging out tonight. And I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for turning up today. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully I'll potentially see a bunch of you tomorrow for some Resident Evil 9 gaming, and we'll have some fun. Alright folks, peace out. And there is lots of truth to that. The Switch 2 version does in fact play better than the PS5 Pro version. I'm kidding. People are going to clip that and think I'm being serious. I have seen the NTE news that it's coming out soon. April, I think, right? So, looking forward to that. Hopefully it's going to be better than Arkfield and Knights. I was really hoping Ark Knights was going to be good, and kind of disappointed. I did look at meta. You think I'm joking? But if I say that, people are going to record it and clip it and then put it on social media and take me out of context like it's not happened before. But yeah, as you saw in that picture, by the way, you guys thought that I was joking when I said that the Xbox community generally just ousts me for no reason whatsoever. I wasn't lying, man. I was not lying. Like, they're gonna put me into this tiny little corner above Boomstick or over here, but no, I got completely and utterly just left out. There's people in here that have got like almost no channel, and they're still there. Total disrespect is all I'm saying. I deserve better. I'm out. I think every one of you, just to make me feel better, should go and play a Final Fantasy game. That will do me. That will make me feel better. Starting with Steve. Take it easy, folks. I'm out.